So I guess, and now, the person that we've been here to celebrate all night, the guy who recycles more single-use totes than anyone I know, Sean Mead. Sean Mead, we'll cross paths one day. See you tomorrow.
See you at the meeting.
Yep.
All right. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming to my celebration of life. How I became an outdoor educator is mostly explained by this slide here. So this is where I grew up, in this house right here. This is the Ottawa International Airport. This is the Rideau River. In between is 200 acres of forest and fields and beaver dams. And from a really early age, my friends and I just spent our time in that woods. We built forts, we made fires, we went fishing. We all owned skis and snowshoes. We shoveled off the river every winter. And we did this from a very early age with no adults around anywhere. And I had a very rambly outdoor childhood that I don't think kids have anymore. And they say that, you know, how connected you are to nature as an adult is really determined by how much unstructured time you had as a kid in nature. And so if you want to draw a line from that to where I am now, that's most of it right there. I will throw in this other seminal experience. I worked for 8 summers at a camp for kids with diabetes. And in that environment there, I just found that people were more authentic, friendships were deeper, it was physically more healthy, more fun too. And so I kind of decided that I wanted that for a career, that I really I wanted to be the director of a year-round camp. And when I graduated from Teachers College, Kelly and I moved down to Kitchener, and I called up the school board to see what was going on with outdoor ed. And they said they were in the middle of cutting half their staff. And I couldn't get on the supply list, things were tight that way, so I bummed around with a bunch of different jobs. And then one day I was driving home from the Maryhill Golf Course, and I heard an ad on the radio that said, would you like to get finally your dream job? Human Resources Development Canada will place you at the profession of your choice for 6 weeks. Sign up for our course. And so I did that. I signed up for this course, and they gave you like first aid training and computer training and stuff. And then there was a 6-week placement. And they said, where do you want to work? And I said, outdoor ed with the school board. And so I called up Dennis Wendland, who was coordinator of outdoor education at the time. And Dennis said, yeah, we can find a fit for you. And so he said probably the best place would be Lowell Creek. And so in September of 1998, I showed up at the Lowell Creek Nature Center, and Diane Heaton was the person running the center at the time. And Diane was very generous with the time and the center. Like I would just watch a program for a couple times, and then she'd say, you teach the class tomorrow. And so that was a great in right there. And after the 6 weeks was up, I just kept coming. And yeah, and Dennis hired me on to be kind of like a outdoor education supply teacher. And then at Christmas time, Ted Chesky, who was working at the Wrigley Corners Outdoor Center, he was going on a sabbatical, 1-year sabbatical. So I interviewed for his position, and I didn't get it. But Dennis said, I got a $100,000 grant. We're going to hire 10 people to fix up outdoor education sites and deliver outdoor education programs. And he said, the girl who was supposed to run the grant, she got the job at Wrigley Corners, but would you like to manage the grant? And I was like, sure, yeah, that'll be fun. And so we hired on 10 people, and we went around and we built boardwalks and osprey platforms and went into schools. This was just a very fun job with very fun people. Al was one of the young teen graduates who was hired on for that grant. And so, yeah, that was kind of how I started in there. And then when that grant ended, Diane and Marlene McBrien, who work here, both announced that they were pregnant and would be going on maternity leave in September. And so Al and I interviewed for those jobs, and I don't think I've told anyone before, but a couple days before the interview, Diane handed me a piece of paper
Did it have the questions
with
on
the
it?
interview questions on it. And so, yeah. And, well, I totally bombed that interview. Because I was nervous that they would know that I had the questions. So I threw in like little inaccuracies in my answers. And it was so bad, it was so awkward. But they hired me on somehow. And so I did a year at Laurel Creek, and then Diane had 6 kids at the time. So she said, I'm not coming back. And so I was lucky, but I had to re-interview. And for that interview, I was shaky nervous. Like, there was so much on the line. Like, Kelly and I had just bought a house. We were thinking of getting married and starting a family. And so I was so nervous. And that interview was one of like the highlights of my life. Like, I just nailed that interview. Marlene McBrien, who was in on the interview, she came out of the parking lot after the interview and she gave me one of these. And it was just and then Dennis phoned me up that night and he said he offered me the position. And I felt like I was joining the Beatles or something. Like Dennis and Ted and Peter Raspberry, they were all like already outdoor education legends in our school board. And so, and Al got hired out at the same time, so he was kind of like
Second choice.
the best. So, yeah. And so the first couple of years I worked at Laurel Creek, I worked with Peter Powler, who was, that was a good working relationship. Like, Peter knows so much, and I didn't have a strong natural history background. And if I just asked Peter, what's with these kinglets or something, he would spend the next 3 hours patiently, teaching me everything about their natural history. And so, and he never made me feel like I should know the answer already because I had the job, right? But I think Peter and I are going to have some good times in retirement. Yeah, we're going to go places. But then Mary Ann took over from Peter, and we've been working together for 24 years. And it is a cliche, but for a quarter century, I've had a work wife, and somebody who supports me and commiserates with me after rainy days or bad classes. Somebody who tells me if I have snot in my mustache or if my fly's open, and but also somebody who tells me what to do, and somebody who argues with me. The whole spousal thing, really. One time, a teacher was talking to Mary Ann and I, and she said, "You guys have been working together for 20 years. You must be very close." And Mary Ann said, "No." Well, actually, what she said was, "No, we've never even kissed." Which is, that's an odd thing to say, but to be honest, to be honest, I don't think we've ever even hugged. Mary Ann and I come from non-hugging families, and one time at Mary Ann's father's funeral, I leaned in for a hug, and Mary Ann was like, "What are you doing?" I don't know, I saw other people doing it. But, besides the not hugging and kissing, I think we are very close. And, we have a lot of after-school talks about things. and on all subjects. Most of them end with Marianne saying, "Don't tell Al I told you that." And, yeah, and so we are separating. We're separating now, and I'm gonna miss you. Yeah.
I'm gonna miss you too, Sean.
Maybe after the speech we can fist bump or something.
He has been I've been complaining about Allie with Sean. Or he's also my financial advisor. Because if Al knows how I spend money, it's not good. So I go to Sean. And he set up my mutual funds,
All right.
He's doing well. He puts me at a high risk.
I have 3 more pages to go. So the job I have with the school board is very unique. Like, there are 3 other people in the school board that have the same job title as me, and in 26 years, I've only had 5 colleagues. Like Peter Raspberry, Ted Chesky, Al, Levi, and Nathan, and that's it. And I'm good friends with all of them, and that is very lucky. They're all very talented, all dedicated. Ted Chesky is a fairly famous ornithologist, bird expert. He moved to Gatineau to work for Nature Canada. And I followed Ted through a lot of forests looking for warblers. He's an avid Montreal Canadiens fan. He's a golfer, good chef, and so I think we're going to try and hook up this summer. So Peter Raspberry, I worked for the school board for 27 years. Peter did 34 years. And Peter was always kind of the adult in our group.
The old man.
Well, a senior member. And, you know, if I ever had problems or needed to navigate the educational system, Peter was the guy I called. And he knew everybody, he knew who I should be talking to, and he has a retirement that is very active, socially, physically, and really, he's got the retirement that I would like to emulate. And maybe I will follow in your footsteps. Literally. Al Woodhouse and I got hired on at the same time, and we have seen all the same things together, all the changes, all the highs and lows, personally and professionally. And one time early on, Marianne confided in me that she was looking for a husband, and so I was good enough to mention this to Al. Oh, there's Ted, there's Al. And so, yeah, that turned out pretty well. Yeah. So Al is, you know, he's an amazing naturalist who I call up all the time because he can identify anything. He has a mind for natural history that I would never be able to match. We do have this contest every year where we try to see who can see the most species of birds at their nature center each year. And there's only like 100 or so, right? And I have a better habitat at Willow Creek than he does here. And so I think every year I'm going to win. Never won this contest. Never won this contest once. To make up for it, I try to beat Al and everything else in life. And, you know, I look forward to many other contests with you, Al. He's a talented naturalist, a passionate educator, a sensitive MC. And Al, from the bottom of my heart, you are one of my top 6 friends in the world. Sometimes number 1, buddy. Sometimes, some days you are number 1. Levi Moore took over from Ted, I'm going to guess, I don't know, 18 years ago, Levi? Yeah, and, you know, I still look at him as kind of one of the new guys after 18 years. And Levi is very ambitious. He pushes the limits of what our job description is. He builds greenhouses, he's doing turtle research, inventing gadgets. Like, I think there's a very good chance that Levi will be famous at some point in his life. And yeah, and he's, you know, he's another one of these supernaturalist guys. He packs a lot into his days, and I've often said I'd like to follow him around just to see how he does it all. his wife, Karina, is lovely. His kids are unique humans. And, yeah, Kelly and I would like to come over for barbecues. That's okay. Yeah. Nathan Manti is really the new guy. He's only been around for 9 years.
Don't forget to use the clicker.
Oh, the clicker. Al, Levi. Oh, you didn't send me a picture. But, you know, Nathan actually started out as a teaching co-op placement at Laurel Creek. And we did maple syrup together, we did bird programs together. And Nathan is, he's got a lot of energy, he's very sensitive, he asks me how I'm feeling all the time, and if I'm good with things, and yeah, I was trying to think about things we've done together. And the one thing that sticks out is one time we were looking for snowy owls together on a dirt road. And we were in separate cars, and I watched as Nathan drove into the ditch. And I thought, okay, he's had a stroke or something. So I went running over, and he got out, and he's like, no, I'm fine, I just drove in the ditch. And that's how I think of Nathan. Life is good, things are good, I just drive in the ditch. Other people I should thank. Dennis Wendland for hiring me. I don't know, I went and visited Dennis a lot in his office early on in my career. I don't know if he knew my name because he always called me Guy. Hey Guy, what's up? Fraser Gibson looked after the bees at Laurel Creek for me for years and years. Fraser and I live on the same streets. Kelly and I don't go more than a couple weeks without knocking on their door and having a chat and a glass of wine. Ann Dahmer brought her kids out every single year and retired, and then decided to come to Laurel Creek 3 days a week. You've made my job easier, my life better these last 2 years. Like, you're just a gift out of that blue that said, oh, can I hang out? And I'm like, sure. And it's just been nice. There are other volunteers around here, like Fire Todd there, Jim the dentist. Yeah. And I've also had a lot of high school co-op students down through the years, and several of them are here today. I don't think a large segment of the population looks fondly on, 18-year-olds. They're lazy video gamers or something, but they're just trying to navigate a tricky time in life. And I've been very honored to have been able to help them navigate some of that. And after, spending 5 months together, I feel like they're just my friends after a while. Now I've got a bunch of friends, so that's nice. Kelly and Sawyer have been very supportive of my career. They've gotten some fringe benefits from having a family member in outdoor ed, like the nature-themed birthday parties and the cross-country skiing and the covered stock with honey. Yeah, but there's some tricky times too, because there are times where I put my job ahead of family, where I've said I'm going to go boil sap this weekend, and it's raining, and you can come if you want, and so I know in our business that there's not a hard line between our personal life and our work life and outdoor ed, and so that's been kind of tricky sometimes. But Sawyer just graduated from aviation at University of Waterloo, and he, so he's going to be a flight trainer training students, and he'll do that probably for a couple of years, and then he'll be off to the world. And next week he's actually going to Europe. He's going to Europe to poke around for the summer, and I've often said this, that Sawyer is a better son than I am a father. And that's really good considering I'm a great father. Kelly has supported all aspects of my career sabbaticals and write and do other things. And I'm so lucky that way. Kelly and I have started looking at the map, figuring out where our next adventures are going to be. And I really don't care where we go, as long as we go together. Maybe after this speech we can fist bump. Or just bump. I would also, I forgot about these slides, all these people. Oh, we didn't get that one yet. So I would also like to thank terrible classes that came to Laurel Creek early in my career, because there were some bad ones. And they gave me a terrible feeling in my stomach that I never wanted to repeat. And so I've always prepared extra hard to be ready for whatever class got off the bus. And because you never know. And I've carried that fear like right to the end. And before every program, I have a knot in my stomach waiting for the bus to come down the driveway. And because of that ongoing fear that a class could really just go off the rails at any time, I've tried not to give them any excuses. I make sure my equipment is right. I wash my blackboards every single day. I know what I want to say to them. I know where I want to get to with each program. And sometimes we get there and sometimes we don't, but it's not because I wasn't ready for it. And I think that thing in my stomach was kind of my superpower, really. And every day, Kelly asked me how my class was, and sometimes I just say, oh, pretty good, or a little ranking, or whatever. But I'm glossing over just how dense my days are, with interactions and questions and laughs and daily little miracle kind of things. And, every class is different, every student is different, and I've tried to throw different things at them in the way of like music or poetry or role playing or putting on the hats and all that kind of stuff, because I think we just need to push more buttons to get in there. And I've been very well rewarded in this career. Like a few weeks ago, we were going through the thank you letters, figuring out what to put out here. I kept them all. There's more than 1,000. Like, who else has that? Who else? I get thanked at the end of every single day. People clap for me. They go back and write letters. Like, who has that? Like, I'm just so lucky. Just so lucky. But I'm worried. I'm worried. Top 10 things I'm worried about going into retirement. Number 10. Have I made a terrible mistake? Number 9. Who's going to check Marianne for tips? Number 8. When will Kelly notice the beehives in the garage? Number 7. Are the Flintstones still on at lunch? Number 6. Is a reverse mortgage right for me? Number 5. Will I still get a salary and benefits for volunteering? Number 4. At the end of the day, will Kelly clap for me? Thanks, I guess. Number 3. Will I ever get back the $100 I lent to G1? Too soon? Number 2. Is this the beginning of a long slide towards inevitable death? And the number 1 thing I'm worried about going into retirement, terrorists. So, a lot of people have been telling me that I am getting out at the right time. That the school board is in decline, outdoor ed gets cut a little bit more every year. But they told this to Peter 9 years ago. And I know that they told this to Frank Blue 30 years ago. There will never be a bad time to be in outdoor ed. There will never be a bad time to take kids outside and engage them with the natural world. I'm honored to have been able to do what I've done with the people I've done it with. And every day when the bus pulls out, you know, we wave at the bus as they're leaving, and the little kids are happy to wave back, but there are a lot of older kids that are kind of hesitant to be public about their gratitude, and so sometimes at the bus window they give me one of these. and I like that a lot. And they said I should play a song, so I'm going to play a song. I wrote this song, I think, probably with one of Anne's classes, and maybe 10 years ago. I was trying to pick a song, and this one, even though it was written 10 years ago, it seems to have lyrics that resonate today. So I'm going to switch over to this one here. Did a good job, Al.
You too, Sean.
All right.
Tariffs, huh?
Right. They come and they go,
Yeah.
right? You never know.
Yeah.
Stood on the hill, 21 kids, looking in bushes where the morning doves hid. I got no regrets, but I wish that I did. Everything's better with birds. Sometimes it's flowers, sometimes it's weeds, sometimes it's love, and sometimes it's greed. Everyone knows what Mother needs, a little more action than words. Grab all your boots and your buckets and jars and follow me down where the lily pads are. The wheels and stones and the birds are the stars. A concert that just never ends. But it's serious business when business is fun. We'll roll up our sleeves and we'll get the job done. Everything's new that's under the sun, and everyone's green in the end. Look at me, Mom, look at me now. I made it from rags to riches somehow. I got all the fortune fate will allow, and all I got left is conceit. So hand me my pen and my pick and my axe, and I'll rip off a riff and I'll lay down some tracks. Bang on my drum till the neighbors yell back, hey, everyone's trying to sleep. We'll laugh at the loons, we'll swat at the bugs and shoot the raccoon. The nighttime is usually his. Song for the road, it's American Pie. We'll hug and we'll kiss and we'll say our goodbyes. This'll be the day that I die, the greatest chorus there is. Stay as long as you want, eat the food, talk along. All right.
I've been asked if everyone could remain seated for a photo of everybody present. And if you do have to leave, please make sure you sign Sean's retirement book, which is over near the fire extinguisher. And we just have one more thing I'd like to do. I'll turn the mic off and go grab it. Be right back.
Cheese, quick cheese. Cheese.
We like to say trees. Birds on? Oh my God. Really?
He swear me.
Well, I had my binoculars just walking down the street, staring into the trees where I thought I heard a tweet. There was a man on his porch wearing a big straw hat. He said, hey there now, mister, what you staring at? I said, not to worry, man, I'm just a nature nerd. I ain't spying on your wife, I'm just looking at the birds. Birds are everywhere, man, birds are everywhere, man. Don't be such a square man. Get up off the chair, man. Be that boy's dear, man. Birds are everywhere. Bluebirds, blackbirds, mockingbirds, catbirds, hornbill, whippoorwill, godwheel, crossbill, wood-duck, blackbird, burning drum, mastiff, kingbill, cockerel, flapperel, wagtail, soft cause, hot hair, soft night, hot turtle, cuckoo, peekaboo, look at you. Birds are everywhere, man. Birds are everywhere, man. Don't be such a square, man. Get up off the chair, man. Read that forest air, man. Birds are everywhere. Chickadee, pee-wee, toady, turkey, upbird, bobwhite, cowbird, turtlecock, magpie, lapwing, osprey, waxwing, red star, rum, rooster, something else, stop, second brown, beagle, woodpecker, honey, creeper, condor, red knob, please stop, that's a lot. Birds are everywhere, man. Birds are everywhere, man. Don't be such a square, man. Get up off the chair, man. Be that horse there, man. Birds are everywhere. Sparrow, junco, fallow, fishbowl, wobbling, weed ear, buffalo, heel deer, nutcracker, napkin, sea deer, blackhead, your husband, marshland, outland, deer, absent, greenland, godhead, kingland, cormorant, guinea pig, ball pig, meat, say, birds are everywhere, man. Birds are everywhere, man. Don't be such a square, man. Get up off the chair, man. Be that horse there, man. Birds are everywhere. Birds are everywhere.
That's not a closer, I don't know what it is. You either have a good memory or you're really good off the cuff. So Jean, on behalf of our team, I'd like to present this to you. And everyone here today, and some that aren't actually present, contributed to this present for you.
Oh, nice. How much?
$8,000.
I'll do another song.
Wonderful career, Sean. Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is wonderful.